Good morning, everyone. This is Anna. I am a member of the PRSA Awards Committee for the PRisms this year. I am going to send this off to Lauren Parker, who is the president and CEO of Fraser Hybe, who is hosting our awards webinar this morning.
Hi, everyone. We're so glad that you can tune in. We're really excited to host today's session because it's such a great opportunity for us to really showcase the great communication that is coming out of our organizations and agencies here locally. So best of luck to everybody that is submitting this year. I hope you get some great information so that we can really highlight, again, just the great and thoughtful and strategic work that's coming out of our team. So turn it back to you.
All right, thank you. So we will be going over today some exciting changes that are part of this year's PRism Awards. We are implementing a few changes based on past feedback from awards and things that we've noticed that we can improve to make the awards process easier for both our applicants and also for our judges. One of our biggest changes that we'll be going over is our award force introduction. So in prior years, we've had our awards submitted on the website, and this year we are using a dedicated platform where you will be adding information about your awards and your attachments in one location to make it a seamless process for all of the entrants and for the judges. So we are going to jump into a little bit about the PRism Awards to go over what it is and what those different categories look like, and then we will do a live demo and some best practices for using AwardForce. So the 2020 PRism Awards, this is an annual event that we do that recognizes area professionals and their work. Our past winners have included agencies, nonprofits, firms, colleges, and more. Award applicants can be members of PRSA or they can be non-members. And we have two dedicated entry tracks. There are tactics and there are also campaigns. And if you have submitted in the past, you may remember that tactics were formerly known as single item entries and campaigns were known as multifaceted campaigns. Within those two entry tracks, there's going to be several categories that you can select from, ranging from social media campaigns to brochures to annual reports. So you'll want to select what category you would like to submit for, and you can also submit multiple. It doesn't just have to be one entry per organization or per entrant. For each category, there will be a nonprofit winner and a for-profit winner selected. An important requirement to remember is that 50% of all your campaigns that are submitted must be completed between November 1st, 2018 and December 31st, 2019. Any tactic that is submitted for this year's awards must be completed within this time frame in their entirety. If you do have an award or a campaign or a tactic that you have already completed this year that you'd like to submit, that is awesome, and we'd love to see it for next year's awards. So be sure to hold on to that to submit for next year's awards. A few reminders about entry fees and deadlines. We did move up our deadlines a little bit this year from former years. Our early bird deadline is going to be February 24th, which is 10 days from today. Students can submit for free in both deadline rounds, and members submit for $65 in the early bird deadline round, and members can submit for $75 in the final deadline. For non-members, the fee is $90 and $100 for that final deadline. So be sure to be aware of these two deadlines and make sure to get all entries in by the final deadline of March 2nd. AwardForce is an award-winning award software. It's industry leading. It is going to offer a lot of different capabilities to our applicants that we're really excited to share with you. The biggest being that it's going to streamline the submissions process for all entrants and judges. There's a few parameters around using AwardForce we want you to be aware of before we jump into a demo. The first is that you'll need to create a free account. You can do this either by using your mobile number, which is an optional field to enter, or by your email. If you do enter your mobile number, we want you to be aware that it's in international format since this is an international software. So all that means is that you need to add a +1 before entering your mobile number in the registration field. You'll also, instead of uploading a PDF or document with those different criteria for judging, like planning and implementation and your entry description, those are now going to be in separate text boxes within each section of the entry in award force. There is a word limit of 750 words per section. That ends up being about a page and a half single spaced, or about 3 pages double spaced. And it is a little bit longer for the entry description box, which is 900 words per section. You can also add attachments to your award submission, and that can be in the format of JPEGs, PDFs, Word documents, URLs. Something to be aware of with your attachments are that there's a size limit of 5 megabytes per upload. This should be fine if you're submitting high-res photos, but if you are submitting a video, you'll likely want to put that video on Vimeo or on YouTube and then attach a URL, which you'll be able to see when we do our demo of Award Force, where you can upload a URL as well. All right, now we're going to jump into a demo of Award Force. First, we want to show you the payment page on the PRSA Central Ohio website, which that page is going to be the first step in your awards entry process. So please be sure to make sure you hop on the website, and then you're going to make your payment on the back end here. And then this is the page that you'll be brought to for submitting your payment. So you can either do a quick search on our PRSA Central Ohio website for the PRism Awards, and it'll bring up a page like this, or it's also going to be in our communications that you'll see in our newsletters. So you'll want to register, hit register now. That's going to take you to the payment page. If you are a PRSA member, you can enter your account information there. If not, you can continue as a guest and make your payment. So once you make your payment here, you'll want to hop over to Award Force, and the URL for that is prismawards.awardsplatform.com. So the first thing you'll see after you've made your payment and you come onto the PRism Awards website here for the awards platform, you will see there's a registration page and there is a login. So if you have already registered, you can come back and work on a saved entry that you haven't submitted yet. Your entries will all be saved on the back end of Awards Force under your free account, and you can continue working on them until you're ready to submit. For registration, these are the fields that you'll need to enter. So just your first name, last name, your email, and then choose a password as well. There will be a confirmation email that you'll need to verify your account, so be sure to check the email that you use here and verify your email before you can log into Award Force. So I have created a account for us to see what this will look like on the back end for this demo. So since I have already registered, I've made my payment on the PRSA website, I'm going to log in here, and it's going to bring me to this screen. And what you'll see here is some important dates about PRSA's PRism Awards that you want to keep in mind, and any other information you have. If you do ever have a question about the entry process, you can reach out to our committee at centralohioprismawards@gmail.com, and we will get back to you with an answer to help you with your entry. So once you're in the back end of Award Force, you'll want to click Start Entry. And then you'll see that there are the 2 tracks that I mentioned a little bit earlier here. You can either select campaigns or tactics. So for the demo here, we're going to select tactics. And then these are all of the different categories that you can select for an entry. You'll notice that there are numbers next to them, and those correspond to the PRism Awards we have on our website. So it's on there to make this a little bit easier on you to find the category you'd like to select. For this demo, we're going to select speeches, and your entries will all be a lot more interesting than this, but for the sake of this demo, we're going to do lorem ipsum. Here it's asking to confirm that you've made your payment on the PRSA Central Ohio website, so I will add my initials. Yes, I did make my payment. And then here you'll see the different boxes that I referenced with the judging criteria. For the entry description, something to note here is that we ask that you also include an elevator pitch in the section. So just 1 or 2 sentences that describe the entry that you're submitting that we could read at the PRism Award ceremony if selected. And I also want to point out here that you can see how many words you have left in each section right at the top here. And then, so once you have your entry description entered there, you'll want to go to planning and content. Each box also explains what should be included in that section. So for this one, we really want to hear about who the audience was for this tactic, what was your strategy behind it, what was the purpose or the goal that you were hoping to achieve. Okay. Appropriateness for identified audience, we really want to hear about who the audience was that you were targeting, why you felt that this was the right audience for your tactic, and any other elements that explain the strategy behind your audience. These are required fields of the entry process, so if you do not fill these out, you won't be able to submit your award and it'll prevent you from hitting submit. So just a reminder to make sure you have your information in each box. Creativity, if you used creative elements to achieve your goals for this tactic, we'd love to hear about it. Anything that you felt was out of the box or innovative, make sure to include in this section. Quality and technical excellence, you just want to explain how your production process for your tactic and how you executed that to ensure that it was an excellent product for your client. What did you do to make sure that the quality was a top priority in this tactic? Be sure to also spell check so you are not spelling anything wrong as we are doing in this demo to make sure that your entry is in the best shape before you hit submit. Results and effectiveness. Here we want to hear about how your end goals were met, if they were achieved, and also we want to hear about whether you would refine anything that was done during your process to achieve your outcome. Is there anything you would change? Is there anything you would keep the same? Make sure to include that in the results and effectiveness box. Okay. Diversity and inclusion. This is another element that we have introduced this year that we're really excited about with the awards process and then also with our award ceremony on May 7th. We really want to put an emphasis on any strategies or tactics that you're employing that really focus on diversity and inclusion. So please be sure to include that here so we can hear about it and share that with our judges. So once you have completed all of these sections, you're going to want to hit save and next. It's going to bring you to this page here. This is where I mentioned you can upload JPEGs or PDFs, and there is that 5 megabyte limit per upload. And then if you have an attachment, you'll hit here and you'll attach that. If you have a link, you'll click this button here and you will add your URL here. Once you've done that, you want to hit preview and you'll want to review your entry. So we see here I've confirmed I've made payment, I've entered information in each of the different boxes. And there's also that link that I added is going to be to the right of your entry that you'll be able to see here and verify that you've entered it correctly. So once everything looks good there, we're going to want to hit submit. And you'll receive a confirmation not only here, but also through your email saying that your entry has been successfully received. If you do have another entry, you can do that from your main page here where you start another entry, and AwardForce will keep track of any previous entries you've submitted for this award cycle. It is fairly user-friendly. If you do have issues using AwardForce or if you're not sure on anything, feel free to reach out to us at our email, and we'll be sure to help you with your specific entry. All right, and with that demo, we're going to jump into a reminder checklist of what would make a successful entry. Remember to review the categories and judging criteria that we have on the Central Ohio PRSA website. We have all of the different categories, the deadlines, the payment fees, and also the judging criteria that's also on the back end of AwardForce up on the website. So it's a great resource to look at before you begin your entry. Once you've done that and you've decided on a tactic or campaign you would like to submit, you're going to gather your entry materials. A pro tip from us is that we like to save the text for each of those different sections, like the planning, the project description, the diversity and inclusion sections, into a Word document. And then once you have that refined there, you can just copy and paste that information into AwardForce, making it a little bit easier for you. You'll also want to make sure to pay your entry fee before registering on AwardForce on the Central Ohio PRSA website. And then after that, register your free account on AwardForce, compile the entry information in AwardForce, and then remember to submit by the early bird or final deadline, depending on which round you're submitting in for your entry. Our final reminder is just to remember to come and join us on May 7th. Our event registration is now live on the Central Ohio PRSA website if you'd like to register for the event, and we hope to see you there.